I'm Chelsea.
I'm Johanna.
And I'm Amber.
Our story is on the Snow Queen, and our main archetype is the quest, also known as Journey of the Hero. Other archetypes include feminism, new historic, and damsel in distress.
The story is a rare irony of its time because the hero is a female, while the damsel is a male. During this time, females were thought to be the weaker sex. Gerda is the heroine and saves Kay, who finds himself in the position where most women usually aren't placed in.
Once there was a large town with houses so close that they could only be separated by flower pots. The best of friends, Gerda and Kay, lived next to each other and played with the roses in the flower pots. They made games and were very happy until Kay got a small piece of the magic mirror stuck in his eye and his heart.
Wait, what's the magic mirror?
Long ago, the head of the troll school made a magic mirror that makes the good things in the world shrink and the bad things in the world enlarge. When flying, the mirror slipped from the troll's hand, resulting in shattered fragments everywhere. Some landed in people's eyes, leaving them seeing the world in a distorted way. Some landed in people's heart, making their hearts cold.
The call to adventure.
Kay pushes heartbroken Gerda away by teasing her, making fun of her grandma, and ripping their friendship symbol, roses. He acted arrogant to prove himself. Willing to hop onto the Snow Queen's sleigh, he was taken away from home. This triggered Gerda into setting out to find her best friend. She asked everyone where he was, and everyone believed Kay was dead. Then the sun said he wasn't dead, and she knew she couldn't give up.
Crossing of the first threshold.
Gerda steps onto a boat for a ride across the river. She leaves her ordinary world for an unfamiliar place across the river. Belly of the Whale and Woman of Temptress.
An old lady that lives in the wood interferes with Gerda's expedition by keeping Gerda in her home for what seems like a few days, but it turns out Gerda was there from the first day of summer to the last day of autumn. The old lady, also known as the Woman of the Temptress, made this possible by making all the roses disappear so Kay wouldn't cross Gerda's mind.
The old woman is a temptress because she leads Gerda into a position where she forgets her purpose, to rescue Kay. This situation can be categorized as the belly of the whale because it is the final parting from Gerda's comfort zone. The Road of Trials.
The first road of trials includes meeting a crow and getting into the princess's castle. The crow tells Gerda that he thinks the prince is Kay, so with the help of the crow's wife, Gerda and the crows sneak into the castle. Unfortunately, after meeting the prince, Gerda realizes it wasn't Kay.
Meeting with the goddess.
When Gerda meets the princess, she gives her an outfit of silk and velvet, a pair of boots and muffs, a carriage of pure gold, a horse, and coachman for the carriage.
The second trial is meeting the robber girl and her family in the woods, who have possessive and anger issues. The girl and her mom kill everyone except Gerda because the robber girl wants to keep Gerda as a doll and steal all of her possessions. Robber girl kidnaps Gerda and takes her to her house. There, Gerda discovers that Kay is with the Snow Queen. Although robber girl abuses Gerda, she eventually decides to help her by releasing her reindeer to help Gerda reach the Snow Queen's castle and save Kay.
The third trial is in Lapland, meeting Lapland woman in her rundown hut. She gives Gerda and the reindeer instructions to the castle, which is in Finland. Arriving in Finland, they are over 100 miles farther from their destination. On their long journey, a lady they encounter tells Gerda that because of her innocence, she has powers and everyone is willing to help her. She also gives her the final instructions to the castle.
In all three steps of the Road of Trials, Gerda is on her search for Kay, but not without going through some obstacles which throw her in every which way. She follows clues from both man and animal that sometimes may be leading her on the wrong path, such as the crows, or may lead her in the right path, the clue to Lapland. All in all, Gerda's Road of Trials allow her to find out and find her way to Kay. Apotheosis.
When arriving at the Snow Queen's castle in Finland, there are evil guards. The guards scare Gerda, causing her to recite the Lord's Prayer. While doing this, angels appear from her breast, which attack the guards. Gerda's arrival at the Snow Queen's castle represents apotheosis because it is a revelation of her power of innocence and purity of heart.
Ultimate boon.
Once Gerda enters the castle, she spots Kay in the middle of the empty hall alone because the Snow Queen was on an evil agenda. She immediately hugs him and cries tears of joy to see his presence. Her tears fall on Kay, and one tear melts the glass in his heart. Singing their childhood song wakes Kay up from his trance, making him cry, and he begins to remember their life together. They exit the Snow Queen castle together. The reuniting of Kay and Gerda is ultimate boon because Gerda finally rescues Kay, the purpose of her journey.
Rescue from without.
Kay and Gerda ride on the reindeers and return safely back home. Gerda also encounters all her new friends on the way home. Gerda and Kay have help from mystical animals, the reindeers, in order to get home safely. Freedom.
Kay and Gerda return home, and flash forward, they grow old together. With the magic mirror gone, the two best friends are able to live happily ever after.
The author's purpose of writing the Snow Queen is to emphasize the change of people's emotions through the seasons. Gerda's feelings reflect each of the changing seasons throughout the story. Summer represents carefree, autumn responsibility, winter melancholy, spring rebirth.
The expression of seasons follows feminist work. Winter is the hard life women had and the constant work and discouragement they received from unequal treatment. Autumn brought more responsibility in order to reach women's suffrage. Spring was a time of rebirth in society as change finally occurred. In summer, females were able to have the equal freedom as their counterparts.
The author's new historic in his life, a change of seasons.
In the story, Kay was taken away from Gerda, much like his father from Andersen. Winter reflected his father's death and the bullying that followed in the entertainment world.
Autumn is a season of transition where problems arise and people are able to learn from their mistakes. For Gerda, ventures through her trials and must overcome hardships. Similarly, Andersen struggled with his responsibilities at school and was put down constantly.
Spring is a time of rebirth and the start of a new life. The hardship in Andersen's journey was finally concluded as his obstacles were overcome, and much like how Gerda defeated all her enemies when she finally saved Kay.
Summer is a time to finally embrace happiness. In the story, summer was a season where the two friends began their new life together. His publication of his fairy tales, such as Little Mermaid and The Ugly Duckling, led him to have his happily ever after.